Right.
We're here at Music Matters 2018 with ShiGGa Shay.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm very well. Very
Welcome
well.
to Singapore.
It's good to be back. Always great to be here. I was just saying, hair's going a bit crazy in the humidity as always, but otherwise it's a pretty great city to be in.
Welcome.
Even I shouldn't say that. Even with the humidity, it's a great city.
Yeah.
Have you always lived here?
Yeah, my whole life. I've just always traveled a lot for making music and performing and stuff. Yeah.
You seem to be quite the busy man when it comes to creation, not just with your music but with film as well.
Oh,
and
yeah,
music videos and collaborating with other artists as well. Is that kind of the modern artist? Do you think someone that kind of needs to be across all those areas?
I don't think it's a need for that, but it definitely helps because, for me, I just like creating and finding different avenues where I can express my creativity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you started out rapping though? That was the first thing kind of you did as a creative output.
Yeah, that was the first thing. I was actually in the Chinese orchestra when I was in primary school.
Wow.
And then I went on to the military band when I was in secondary school. And rapping just kind of happened in a way that I just needed an output to say what I wanted to say. Yeah.
Did you find at the time when you were starting to do that it was hard to do in the Singapore scene? I remember when I was first coming here, you wouldn't hear really hip hop anywhere. You know, when you're going back like 10 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. I guess in every country there would be its own set of obstacles and challenges. And at the time where I started to make hip hop music in Singapore, it just happened to be the time where hip hop was not very particularly accepted in the mainstream audience. So it was more of a phase where I had to kind of keep my audience in mind when I was making the music and really kind of educating the public about hip hop. Yeah.
And it seems like now, like seeing you on stage the other on Saturday night, bringing on a bunch of guests on stage, it seems to be that by doing that and by kind of being one of the early innovators of hip hop in the Singapore scene, that you've really been able to grow a community around you of great, amazing artists from the region.
Yeah, I wouldn't say like I'm responsible for growing them, but
you're part of the story.
Yeah, I'm just happy to be a part of the story and being able to kind of share a platform to kind of grow the culture even further has been. It's been a lot of fun. It's been amazing, and I just hope that the culture continues to grow. Yeah.
Yeah, it must be nice to see it actually happening because there's a lot of places in the world where it doesn't.
It's true, very true. I think we're very fortunate, to be able to be a part of the growth and to witness the growth. Yeah.
And where does it go from here?
Where does it go from here? I wouldn't be able to. I'm not a fortune teller, but
where would you like it to go?
Where would I like it to go? I would definitely hope that Singapore music in general, not just for hip hop, but Singapore music as a whole, would be touching places around the world other than Singapore. And
has that always been the struggle? Is kind of leaving the borders musically?
I guess it's part of the struggle, but I think it's a common thing that Singapore musicians, we all fight for. And having that same thing that we fight for kind of helps to bring everyone together too. Because we all kind of have the same goal to kind of make Singapore music international. And having it touch the shores of other countries is amazing. Yeah.
There's certainly a few artists that have managed to start to grow outside the Singapore borders, like Linny Ying and Sam Willows and people like that.
Yeah. Great. Willows, it's amazing to see how the Willows have grown.
And you've worked with them.
Yeah,
over the years.
I actually did their first ever EP launch. We go way back when it was at this small place called Tab. It used to be called Tab, and in Orchard. And I remember them just recording their first EP and just asking me if I could perform for that show, and I was just like, cool, even though it's different genres, as long as it's Singapore music, I'm happy to be able to play my part. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about kind of your latest music and what's kind of coming out there as well.
I haven't released anything in 3 years, and
was that the last release was your debut album?
My debut album, and like, you know, I put out I was in a movie at the same time that year, and I've just been working on a lot of music and just kind of rediscovering myself as an artist, finding myself and really finding my sound and the type of message that I want to put out and put across, because you know, you kind of have a responsibility as an artist when when people listen to your music, they actually whatever you say has a certain amount of impact in their lives. So knowing that, you know, I had to kind of take a step back to put everything into perspective and figure out how do I move on from here. And for my latest music, it's just really a new version of me, and I absolutely like can't wait to share it with everybody. Yeah. When do
you think you'll get it out into the world?
Hopefully this year, man. It's been a while, but I'm working on it. And
but you've been able to kind of road test it and play it at shows and play new music at shows. Yeah.
I sometimes, like, at shows, like I would drop like one or two like new material just to see how the crowd reacts, and it's just it's nice to see sometimes when, like, even when the songs are not released, but sometimes when I perform a new song for a couple times, like, the audience like tend to know the lyrics of it, like some of it, and that's, I think, the best feeling any musician can ever get. Yeah.
And what about live shows? Is anything else coming up that you want to plug?
Not at the moment, but I've got new music dropping soon, so
there'll be some shows around that.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, it's really great to meet you. Thank you very much for having me in Singapore.
Man, welcome to Lion City.
And it was great to see you. Great to see you at the showcase the other night. And you got some more Music Matters shows, or are you all done for now?
No, I'm done for the Music Matters.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, sad I won't get to see you again, but hopefully next time I come back up here.
Until we meet again.
Yeah. Cool. Beauty. Thanks, mate.